You know, they didn't always call me Jim.
No?
All right? They used to call me Jimmy D. Back in the old neighborhood. Up until the incident.
The incident.
I was working late one night and came home, and to get to my apartment I had to walk through an alley, and there were 3 guys waiting, standing there. I didn't recognize any of them. And they said, "Hey, Jimmy Dean." I said, "Do I know you?" He said, "No, but we know who you are. You got something we want." I said, "Look, I'm not looking for any trouble." He said, "You're Jimmy Dean, right?" I said, No, I'm not Jimmy Dean. I'm Jimmy D. You got me mixed up with somebody." He said, "Hand over the sausages." I said, "No, I think you've got me confused with Jimmy Dean of the breakfast place. Famous sausages. They're delicious. But that's not me. That's somebody else." Guy pulled out a knife. What are you supposed to do? Right? He says, "Give me the sausage. Give me the sausages." Luckily, I had several sausages in my pockets, so I handed them over. And he said, "Thank you very much." And we exchanged addresses, and we keep in touch. And they continue to be very supportive to this day. Do you have a nickname?
No, not really.
You probably should.
Okay.
Do you respect yourself as a human being?
Yes.
Well, then there you go. But where to start? This is always the question when people are asking me about nicknames. Where do I get my inspiration? Where do I begin? You begin with your own name, and you think about what rhymes with your name. Right?
Okay.
Simon, the Pieman. Dan, the Man. Joe, the Schmo. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Easy, simple, very basic first nickname. So you're Glenn. So it would be Glenn the Hen.
That's not a very good nickname.
Glenn the Pen?
No, I don't like that.
Glenn the Men.
No, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Glenn the Friend.
None of these are very good nicknames.
Are you sure that nobody in your family raised hens?
I'm extremely sure.
Occasionally I'll be asked to show up at a community center or an elementary school to give a workshop for youth about nicknames, give some of the kids nicknames themselves and talk a little bit about where nicknames come from. And a lot of people are actually surprised to learn that it's very closely tied with the Christian Christmas celebrations. If you're familiar with this, the main character of Christmas, of course, being Santa Claus. On Christmas Eve, you'd hang your stocking up, and you've got, Judy, you've got Louis, you've got Edgar, you've got Andre, all the stockings have the names on them. Didn't used to be that way, right? What would happen was all the children would have the same name. So you got 2 kids, 2 boys, and it would be Louis, 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 which was really very confusing, especially, at Christmas time when people were opening up gifts. And this is where the tradition of Santa Claus comes from. Santa Claus would come down the chimney, bring you your new name for that year. Jolly old Saint
Nick.
Would bring you your
Nick.
Name.
And so how did that work exactly?
Well, it didn't work out very well actually at all, because you gotta get a new name on Christmas. You gotta change your passport, you gotta change your driver's license, you gotta change your 4-H registration. Don't get me started on the banking.
Okay, so you're not big on the rhyming, huh?
Not really.
Another way to go at it, if you're just getting started, is to look to other people's nicknames, right? Especially people celebrities, people who are in our collective consciousness, people who are in our popular culture, if you will. So for your name, we could have like your Glenn, so it could G-Lo.
G-Lo.
G-Lo. It's fitting. Got some booty. Right? Glenifer Hudson.
Glenifer Hudson.
You're an Academy Award nominated, Grammy Award winning artist.
Huh?
Not a bad person to be associated with. Glangelica Houston.
Those are all women. Like, these are all women's names.
Yeah?
I don't know. I don't want any of those.
Glenn Pitt. Yeah?
You ever gone to the internet, seen the stripper name generator? You put in your name, your birthday, and then it tells you what your stripper name will be when you decide to get on the poll.
I've seen that.
Seen that?
Site
You've seen
before.
the Wu-Tang Clan name generator. So when you join the Wu-Tang Clan, you know what to call yourself.
I've
Seen
seen
that
those
one?
sites. I'm not
There's
sure
a bunch
if that's what they're
there's
for.
a bunch of these things, and they're rip-offs. Every single one of them. Because you go and you put your credit card number in, they're charging like $15-20 a pop. And I advise people, don't waste your money on the internet. Come to me. I'll give you a name. I can give you a nickname generator right now.
Yeah.
Because all you're really doing is you're taking somebody's name, you're finessing it, and then you're taking a characteristic of that person, and mashing it all together, mixing it up, spinning it around, taking it, turning it, flipping it. Got a nickname. Timeless, right? Toss me a name. I'll give you one.
Okay. John Smith.
John Smith. See, here's what you do. John Smith. John. Maybe we'll add a little finesse on the end. Johnny. Yeah, like that, all right? Characteristic of John Smith. Maybe he's portly. We call him Johnny Fatso. Look at that. Imagine him. You can see him right now. He doesn't really exist. Johnny Fatso. You know what Johnny Fatso looks like. Give me another one.
Greg Saunders.
Greggy Fatso.
That's
I'm
the
on a-
same thing.
What? Keep going. I'm on a roll.
Jenny
Fatso.
No, well that's the same thing again. You're just adding a Y and then saying fatso.
Yeah.
And then Morning Glory, which is carrot raisin.
You don't like it? You don't like these names
Well,
that I'm giving out gratis?
they're just all they all
Go
sort of sound the
on
same.
the internet. Waste your $15.
In the bag?
PayPal.
Another really popular way to get a nickname is to sort of connect your name with an event in your life. So something that you did, a memorable experience. So like we've got this friend who's, he's sort of wild and free, he's Crazy Eddie, yeah? Right? Likes to jump off cliffs and things. So he's crazy.
Yep.
Or, Good Times Charlie, right? Likes to have a beverage or two. So for you, if I'm thinking of times in your life, it could be Glenn, the guy who all over his own birthday cake. Remember that?
I thought.
Or what about guy who cried at the end of Jurassic Park? Glenn?
I thought that there were certain things that we weren't supposed to talk about on the show. Okay.
Farted in his girlfriend's mouth, Glenn?
One of the things that I try and explain to people that is really hard to understand is this idea that just because you got one nickname doesn't mean you can only have one nickname, right? You can expand. You can have multiple personas, and you can changing situations require different names. So The best example is somebody like Sean Puffy Combs, right? You familiar with this guy? He's a very successful entrepreneur. He designs clothes, he has perfume, I think he has a line of home video cassette recordings. And he's got a zillion different nicknames that he's had over the years, right? So you've got Sean Puff Daddy Combs. You got Puff Daddy. You got P. Diddy. You got just Diddy. You got, for a while he went by LL Cool J. And then D12, Eminem, Dr. Dre. Like he's got all these different sort of facets of his personality that he expresses through his nicknames.
I think that a lot of those were actually different people. They weren't all.
No, and it's easy to understand that, right? Because he's so well branded.
Well, it's not that. They're just actually all. They're actually different.
No.
Different
Okay.
rappers.
Are you familiar with the Garth Brooks, Chris Gaines? It's basically the same thing, but more urban.
The thing about a nickname, though, is that somebody else has to give it to you, right? And it ends up being a reflection less of who you think you are and more of who other people see you as, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, that can sometimes mean that you get a nickname that can tell you something about who others think you are. And you might not like it. Right? Sorry, Glenny Fatso.
Is it too late to go with Glenn the Hen? Because I'm fine with it.